if you think about it, because this has a lot to do with water, because this is the medium of life, and it's the medium that the electromagnetic fields directly impact. So my basic theory is that humans drank water, and water was considered, quote, the good. In other words, before, say, 300-400 years ago, here were the characteristics of water. Number one, there was no toxic stuff dissolved in the water because they didn't put toxic stuff in the water. Number two, the water, so no stuff in the water. Number two, the water always had minerals in it because the water came up out of the earth, what we call springs, or was running over the rocks in the rivers and streams. And so it slowly dissolved the minerals over time. So we have no stuff, mineralized water. That's step two. Step three is the water was always flowing, particularly in vortex patterns. And this did two things. Number one, it structured the water. Number two, it oxygenated the water. Interestingly, the entire oxygen level of our atmosphere is approximately 1 to 2% lower than it was, say, 300 years ago. There's a lot of reasons for that, and people may dispute that number, and you can go find it for yourself. But the water was also highly oxygenated, as is the water in healing places like Lourdes and the Ganges. There's an extraordinarily high percentage of dissolved oxygen in the water. Now, people say, well, we don't absorb the oxygen, but we do know that the oxygen in the water stimulates the healthy growth of bacteria. In fact, it stimulates specifically the beneficial bacteria in our gut, and that is our immune system, and that is what is responsible for our health. So while the oxygen in the water may not get absorbed in your blood, there's still many other mechanisms of how it could help your health, particularly by stimulating a healthy microbiome. So again, the third step is water that's moving in vortexes, which allows it to pick up oxygen. The fourth step is all this water was exposed to the electromagnetic field of the earth and the sun and the planets and the stars and the birds and the bees and the frogs and everything else. Now, therefore, we evolved or were created or whatever image you want to use, to every time we drink water, we think that must be good. I'm going to absorb it into my cells. But let's look at modern water, like San Francisco water or any water on the planet. First of all, it's got an extraordinary amount of toxic stuff. It's got glyphosate in it. It has chlorine. It has chloramine. It has neurotoxic fluoride. It has birth control pills. It has pesticides. It has Prozac. It has statin drugs. You can demonstrate it. You can prove it. All the water has microplastics in it. You can demonstrate that. It's not hard. So we have water with stuff in it. Then most of the water is demineralized or not the right kind of minerals, or people even drink distilled water, which is acidic, dead water. And so we don't have the right minerals in the water. Third of all, the water isn't moving, and it has an extraordinary low level of oxygen, which creates a toxic microflora in our gut. And fourth of all, it is not sung to in any way. There is no spirit or fields, or however you want to think of this, that's influencing the water to structure it to be the healthy living crystal that is the basis of all life. And so the reason I'm saying that is, what should you do? You should drink healthy water in the way that I described.